welcome. If you're new here, my name is Krista. We do all things home and DIY, and a little while ago we did a pantry organization video that we had a really positive response on. In that video, I do an in-depth tutorial on how to use Cricut's print and cut feature to create your own pantry labels. And the only thing I didn't go into detail on is how I design the labels, and mainly that was because I did it in Photoshop. That's just my preferred program, but Photoshop is not a free program, and I had several requests for how I design them. So in today's video, I'm recreating those same labels, but doing it in Cricut Design Space. So if you have a Cricut, you have Design Space, you can make these same labels. Be sure to stay tuned for the entire video. I am going to be giving you tips and best practices on how to get really crisp looking labels, and there are a few things that I really think factor into that. So let's get started on this tutorial. All right, in Design Space, we're gonna go over to our Shapes panel here and choose a square. We're gonna keep that as a basic cut and change the background color to white. Now on to resizing. I did my labels 2x2. Obviously you can adjust this however you'd like to. And I'm gonna zoom in so I can see a little bit better here what we're doing. Go over to our text tool and type in our first label name. So we're gonna do pasta, and we're going to change the font here. I chose this one because I thought it was very just professional looking, very nice clean font. You can obviously do whatever you like. I think this one was called Didot. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but put that in there, change the font size to 16. Again, if that's too small for you, just make it a little bit bigger. So Cricut automatically assumes that everything you do is a basic cut. So we're gonna go up here and switch this to standard under print then cut and switch the font color to black. It automatically chooses a charcoal. So this is one of those things that I mentioned, getting really clear labels. We're gonna select the square and the text and go over to align and center horizontally. Now let's add our next line of text, which will just say number. Choose whatever number you want, and then we're going to add our category as well. We're gonna resize that to size 8. And on this one, we're also gonna change the spacing between the letters. So right over here, we're gonna change that to 3, just for a more stylized look. Pull that down. We're gonna again switch that to standard under print and cut and black. Once you've got that, let's go ahead and select the square and the text once again, and we're going to align and center horizontally. For the next part, there may be a better way to do this, but it worked fine for me. So I just went and added another text box and held shift down using my line key on my keyboard, creating a line. I changed the font size to 14 and made it bold. Photoshop has a line tool, so that's what I used there, but I didn't see one in Design Space. That doesn't mean it's not there. This is just what kind of worked out okay for me. We're gonna go ahead and switch this one again to print and cut and switch it to black. And then we're gonna spend just a moment getting it kind of all lined up here. And I threw a few things out of alignment here, so I'm gonna just kind of go back in, make sure I have everything where I want it, and then go to the right-hand side and select all of my text boxes and hit attach. That's going to make this text all kind of one unit. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and select the square as well as your text and go up to align and finally center vertically, which is gonna put it just right in the middle there. And then we're going to go ahead and just attach that whole thing. And just checking over one more time, your text should all say print then cut and the square should say basic cut. And because you're likely making multiples, what we want to do is just copy and paste that label you just made, pull that over to the side, and on the one we want to modify, we want to take everything that's attached and detach it. That way we can make our modifications. So just go in, switch your text. You will probably have to realign things. And something to note here that's really important is it will switch it back to basic cut again. So we're gonna have to go back in under operation and switch it to print then cut. And then also re-switching it back to black font again. Once everything looks good, select everything in your label and attach it once more. And this part's really important. You want to go into each of your labels and flatten them. So you're going to highlight the text, the square, everything, and hit flatten. That will make sure it doesn't cut out your individual letters, but it just cuts around the square. Hit make it, and if you need multiples, this is where you can change it. Just change your project copies and hit apply. It'll automatically add those to your sheet for you. And the next couple of things were imperative for me to get a clean, clear label. So the first thing you're gonna do is where it says add bleed, go in and turn that off. The next thing for me, I was running out of all of my ink except for black. So I went to use system dialog, turned this on. That will pop up behind Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to choose to print in black and white. Click that on and then go ahead and print, and I had really, really nice labels once I did that. All right guys, that's it. If this was beneficial to you, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them down in the comments below. I also am very open to video requests. So if there's something that you'd like to learn how to do that I might be able to teach you, you can leave those down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure that you're subscribed and your bell notifications on so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.